Kuwait continues its blessed march, growing further and further as a peaceful and secure homeland of goodness and peace, an unmistakable result for justice and amity. Lord permits, the march will proceed unchecked to attain our noble objectives, with an unswerving adherence to our traditions and principles, proud of our past and aggressively energetic on building a glorious future, characterized by loyalty to the leadership, people, and the Arab nation at large. The noble objectives become bigger and bigger, generation after generation, and faith in the principles and values becomes more consolidated. Our National Day celebrations are always associated with ideas and meanings, reflecting the reality of love, amity, cooperation, and fraternal dedication, binding the Kuwaiti people until Kuwait has truly become the homeland of a big united family. Throughout the past 2 decades which followed independence, Kuwait has realized remarkable achievements in every field, earmarked to boost national interests and fulfill the countrymen's aspirations for a secure and prosperous homeland. That is why the National Day celebrations has always been valuable occasions for the people to manifest their love and dedication to Kuwait. The people have always persisted to line up to the country's festivities in all circumstances. Restoration of parliamentary life on safer and deeper bases of democratic practice and atmosphere was perhaps the most remarkable achievement. The move was in keeping up a promise made by the leadership and a new evidence to Kuwait's faith in popular participation and awareness of the cultural role of democracy in reinforcement of the national march and bringing about the constructive cooperation between the legislative and executive bodies. His Highness the Emir's insistence to attend the opening of the National Assembly legislative terms is a further proof of His Highness's confidence in the vitality of consultativeness and popular participation through enlightened parliamentary representation, which places the very high interests of the country above every consideration. His Highness the Emir has asserted that long-established fact when he opened the first session of the National Assembly's 5th legislative term.
ولقد كان رائدنا جميعا وسيظل بإذن الله.
Our prime goal is to preserve Kuwait, independence, secure, and to maintain its national unity and enhance its march.
مسيرتها إلى تحقيق آمالها، وهذا ما يدعونا دائما إلى أن نرتفع بهذه الأهداف فوق الجدل.
National unity as well as the unified family spirit are best crystallized when the leadership and the masses get together in an open dialogue and in the context of unceasing service and dedication to the advancement and prosperity of our dear homeland. Kuwait's significant attention to education is best interpreted in the framework of that perception. The government's educational strategy has always emphasized introducing most competent curriculums and techniques on every educational level, from kindergarten to the university. The pursuance of that objective testifies to the government's genuine interest in the Kuwaiti human being, who is after all the most precious wealth the country has and its guarantee for a bright future. Medical care was a natural part of the government's occupation in view to provide free medical treatment not only to the Kuwaiti citizens but also to all those who live on Kuwait soil. The 20th anniversary of the National Day was a distinguished historic occasion in which 5 large hospitals in different parts of the country were commissioned to join other medical establishments in fulfillment of the government's drive not only to make medical services available in every part of the country, but also to upgrade these services. In this context, hospitals, clinics, and other health centers were furnished with the most sophisticated equipment, manned by a highly skilled labor force. As a matter of fact, Kuwait now ranks among the best countries who has secured a just and effective distribution of health services. This standard achieved so far is part of the state-evolved strategy to reach the target of 1 bed per 200 of the population, 1 doctor per 500, and a nurse for each bed, and to perfect medical complementation compatible with the growing population and the country's upheaval.
اليوم الأول للبطولة الدولية لألعاب القوى بمناسبة أعياد الكويت.
The government has also allotted ample attention to youth care and sport and laid down programs intended to build a healthy generation of high ethics and capable of shouldering its responsibilities in the Kuwaiti integrated society. Thanks to this philosophy, the Kuwaiti sportsmen were able to reap one victory after another on regional, Arab and international levels, raising high the name of Kuwait through honest sports competitions, of which several championships have fallen to Kuwaiti teams. Sports activities were not limited to popular games, but attention was given to other sports, like horsemanship, for example, which has deep roots in the Arab heritage, literature, and military history. Horsemanship was singled out for special interest. His Highness the Emir inaugurated the Hunting and Equestrian Club as one of the celebrities of the 20th National Day anniversary. In the inauguration speech, His Highness the Emir hailed the new sport establishment and paid tribute to its noble efforts to teach youth the principles of this Arab sport, which was extremely favorable to our forefathers. The government has also not forgotten the struggle of the old fighters, whose contributions to modern Kuwait were outstanding. Coffee houses along a traditional pattern were built in several parts of the country as a gesture of acknowledgement to the old generation of Kuwait, who are entitled to the government's care. As a major oil-producing country, the oil industry predominates industrial projects in Kuwait. However, industrial planning always endeavors to create successful productive industries which could pay off both domestic and foreign markets. This planning, which proved to be competent and comprehensive, now provides the national economy with a skilled labor force and expertise essential on every caliber and necessary for every walk of life to assume everlasting prosperity and progress. The expansion of Shu'aibah port, as well as the various plants in the Shu'aibah industrial area, stand as a striking evidence to the economic and industrial bonanza which now constitutes the backbone of Kuwaiti comprehensive upheaval. A business boom has also developed in Kuwait, where people have a reputation for their skills. This boom has been supplemented by the country's financial potentials, which turned Kuwait into one of the world's strongest commercial and financial centers. A business boom has also developed in Kuwait, where people have a reputation for their skills. This boom has been supplemented by the country's financial potentials, which turned Kuwait into one of the world's strongest commercial and financial centers. Necessary facilities and utilities appropriate for an active business center are available in Kuwait, including big hotels of grandeur and luxury. Her communications system, perhaps one of the most up-to-date in the world, also adds to Kuwait's capability as a successful business center. The government's role in encouraging hotel industry was the prime cause for these facilities, which stand now as a landmark in the country. The Kuwaiti leadership has always maintained belief that the armed forces were entitled to be equipped with modern and sophisticated weaponry and put up to elaborate training so that they can always be of the highest standard and preparedness to defend their homeland. That is Kuwait after 20 years of independence, secure and prosperous, strong and affluent. The 25th of February will always remain a glorious occasion in which we remind ourselves of our origin and in which our people live up to its glorious past and celebrate under a faithful, wise leadership, cemented national unity and the strong ties of a united family.